Well, both sides want reunification, although reunification by either would look very, very different, wouldn't it?
Yes, the two Korean states have very different ideas of unification. The problem is that in 2000 and in 2007, the South Korean government reiterated a pledge to form a confederation with North Korea. And the current president of South Korea came to power promising to attain a confederation in the very, very near future, perhaps during his term. And that's very interesting when you keep in mind that West Germany always rejected confederation proposals because they meant recognizing the other state as legitimate, and because the other state clearly regarded them simply as a trap. And Kim Il-sung, the great leader in North Korea's history, made very clear in 1973 that if South Korea signs off on confederation, it will be done with, quote unquote. So the situation now is kind of comparable to a Hollywood star promising to marry her stalker in the near future, but she still wants her bodyguard hanging around just in case the guy gets the wrong idea. And the United States is the bodyguard in this equation, and it's a very dangerous and unstable position for us to be in.
Brian, what about domestic politics, if we look at it from that level of analysis, almost a neo-realist point of view? How does the North Korean society and the way that it's framed and the way the society is organized lend itself and project itself on the international stage? Tell us a little bit about that linkage.
Well, North Korea is less interested in projecting itself on the international stage than in projecting itself on the peninsula. This is not the failed communist state that it's been made out to be for the past 25 years. I think that fallacy has been perhaps the most disastrous single factor in getting us to where we are at this point. This is an ultra-nationalist state which from day one has been committed to unifying the peninsula and to routing American troops. This is the final victory that North Korea talks about. And when it talks about the United States stopping its hostile policies, it doesn't mean military exercises. It doesn't mean Donald Trump's fiery rhetoric. It means the presence of U.S. troops, which it wants removed. Now, I think a lot of the wishful thinking in the West derives from the assumption that the South Koreans are kind of like the West Germans were back in the old days, that left and right here are all on the same page. They're all standing firmly behind their constitutional values, and they're all intent on resisting North Korea. It's just not that way. The South Korean left has never developed an anti-totalitarian tradition. And the North, unfortunately, has been given very wrong signals. It's been made to believe over the past 20 years that if it can just get the American troops off the peninsula, it can subjugate the South Koreans without very much bloodshed, perhaps with none at all. And this is a problem, I think, that's going to become increasingly apparent in the weeks ahead. When Donald Trump and President Moon met each other at their summit, they kind of papered over the enormous differences in the way that the two countries look at North Korea.